Right. So approximately how long have you been working with SwimPro products?
Well, over 10 years. I think the first version was the SwimPro. I think when I was at Nuttawading, maybe 2010. You correct me if I'm wrong here on the years, but it was the first SwimPro version, which with the cords and the hard drive. We started working with that. Obviously, any form of video collection and analysis, any way you can show athletes another view, and you can get your own view of things underwater, and that is highly valuable. So immediately onto that when it came out.
Yeah, it's about that. I think, Ro, like 2010, 2012, we kind of dribbled into the market. So we have been around for 10 years, and we've been working with you guys pretty closely for 10 years. In fact, I was only just at NSwiss the other day. They've got a room full of SwimPro stuff, pretty much every version, which is great to see. And also the QAS, of course, we've been working pretty close with those guys up there. So what about, how do you think SwimPro is best used?
Well, I think SwimPro is best used. Like for me, it's about it's another set of eyes on the athlete, and you can capture things that you see. So the ability for it to be not only an effective tool for capturing footage to analyze, but it's efficient. And so, for instance, if you've got your iPad and you've got the cameras on, you've got all the views, and you see something and you want to capture it, you can just capture it right away, and then immediately pull the athlete out and have a conversation about it, and then provide some correction. I think so. For me, it's just providing another set of eyes and another tool for me to influence the development of the athlete and technically, which I find good. And I think even for younger athletes, I know when I was doing a spot of coaching juniors at Nana when I was there, and we lost a junior coach, and for about 6 months I ran the junior squad in addition to running high performance, and I put the cameras in at the other end of the pool, like different angles, and effectively just so the kids knew that I could see them down the other end. If they were stuffing around or not doing proper streamlines, I could actually keep an eye on them from the other end of the 50-meter pool. And it was really effective there because, I'm saying, hey, I just filmed you pushing off the wall and not going past the flags. Just so there's a lot of things that for me that it's beneficial.
Yeah, well, that's funny. It's like a remote monitoring tool for misbehavior as well, right? But yeah, look, and that's what we've focused on with this new release. We've given coaches eyes underwater. We know it's valuable. A lot of the stuff that's happening in swimming is happening underwater. Now with the new release, we've done that in the most leanest way possible with wireless cameras straight to iPad, multiple wireless cameras straight to iPad. And Rohan, you'll know this, with a setup time, for example, of a 4-cam package in less than 2 minutes. So you're literally turning on all the buttons, throwing the cameras in the water or placing them strategically, firing up your iPad, and you're up and running. So 4 wireless cameras in under 2 minutes, whereas our previous gear, we're proud of it, but it's time to move on. That would take 10, 15 minutes to set up and coordinate. So we've gone super lean with the new stuff.
I think that's an important point that from a coach's perspective, there's effectiveness and then there's efficiency, and the efficiency piece has to allow us to keep coaching. Right? If I'm not a technician, unless I've got somebody who can set it up for me, I'll probably be less likely to spend the time if it's taking me away from the coaching space. So the more efficient it is to get it up and going, the more likely is that the coaches will use it and then find out the effectiveness of it, and really it enhances their capacity to really coach.
Yes. And like you said, effectiveness, we've been there in terms of quality of cameras and wireless and so forth. A little bit of time on pool deck, but efficiency, that's where we're really nailed it in this release. Efficiency is everything, mate. And again, under two cameras under 45 seconds, you can have those things set up and ready to go, and super portable. We've shrunk them down as well. So everything's even smaller now with, about 70 centimeters long bags, and they're light. You can travel with them easy. So, efficiency.
I've got mine just right next to me here. That's the other version right here. Just
there you
go. My desk, so when I go out on pool deck.
Well, there's the new version. Look at that.
Okay, cool. So when I go out on deck, I I take this with me, and then I pop it in the water, and then I've got eyes in the water as well. So I find it
Excellent, Rob.
and that, yeah. So that's
That's
good. The new
fantastic.
one. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
great.
we'll get you rigged up with it with a new kit, and then literally, yeah, put them in the water, turn the cameras on, bang, back to your iPad. So we'll make sure you're hooked up with that. All right, next question. You want to get an athlete or squad to a higher level of performance. What role does SwimPro play in this?
Well, I think so. If we just look at developing an athlete from where they are to a higher level of performance, the key things that you'll look at are physiology, the development of their physiology, and the development of their technique hand in hand. So if they're not technically evolving, their ceiling is limited. So the use of SwimPro in that development is critical, because again, it's not only about the corrective piece. I think this is an important thing here. It's about them seeing what they're doing well and reinforcing it. So the ability to show them that why that's working, so they connect with the visual piece with how they feel, and they really find that effective. I know Liesl Jones was one that always liked to watch herself swim, and she could do self-correction. A lot of times I didn't need to say anything. It was just the vision that she could look at and then make that correction. Jess Hansen was another one of recent years that really just liked looking at the footage, going back, and then so they were really connected to that technical development. And I think it just brings it to them, and helps you as a coach, because you're right. You're trying to paint a picture for them. If you don't have video footage to show them, you're trying to tell them, and you're showing them, no, it's like this and that. But if you can just say, this is what it looks like when you do it really well, or this is here's what I want. Here's the changes you've made. So I think that positive reinforcement, but that ability to quickly give that to them, but also to consistently provide that feedback, so it's constantly in front of them. I think there's the days of like, we'll do technique work on Mondays and Wednesdays, and the rest of the time we're training. Technique works all the time. You got to be swimming correctly every moment, and so any support around that with SwimPro providing it is a bunch of mirrors, in a sense, giving you that feedback. So that's where I think it's really critically important, of bringing our athletes to the next level.
Yeah, and again, focusing on efficiency, effectiveness, Rob. I like that. I'll use that. Effectiveness, of course, giving that feedback in video. Note the new cameras, we've gone 2K 60 frames. So we're essentially double HD. So your standard 1920 by 1080, our current cameras are 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames. We've doubled that quality now to 2K 60 frames. So again, arguably double the effectiveness, painting that picture, as you mentioned. And then also at 60 frames, wireless multicam back to the iPad, super efficient. Yeah,
no, and that's the exciting part. That there's no excuses to not use it.
That's it. And we're encouraging big iPads, yes, straight back into the iPads. Really, you have no excuses anymore. Fair enough, before you have to roll out a TV or get a monitor and use a mouse or something like that. This time, I like it, Rod. There's no excuses. There's
not. Yeah.
Athlete success stories with SwimPro, Rod.
Well, as I mentioned, the one about Liesl being and the two that I just spoke to, but Liesl was training with me, and with breaststroke in particular. If you're just a little bit off technically with breaststroke, it can be significant, or looks time wise. Yeah. I think the athlete's ability to see that when they're doing it correctly, and having that self-regulation, but also it helps me understand what it looks like, so that our language becomes similar, so we set cues. So I think for Liesl to maintain her consistency technically over a long period of time was really down to her ability to engage with video feedback, and my ability to support that. Jess Hansen is another one that I know really bought into taking ownership, and really that self-correcting. It starts with you educating them, and then eventually they come into it. So I think it's that transition. And Jess went from 109 breaststroke to 106 in a matter of 18 months. And it was all down to technical shifts for her, and using, having that ability to do that. I think the other one would probably that I could talk to be Belinda Hocking, who won Commonwealth Games, Pan Pacs in 2014, World Championship silver medalist, Olympian, two-time Olympian. Bindi came back from a shoulder surgery before Rio, like a year out of the Olympics, and we'd really broke her race model down, and looked at where she needed to make shifts to put herself in a position to make the Olympic team. So there was technical, because her shoulder needed to be, you need to make sure it's very hypermobile, that she was getting in a good position. So there was the need to really monitor that and be looking at what underwater footage, but also her skills off the wall, her kick, her frequency of kick, and to have the ability to have the cameras at each end holding her accountable to her underwater work. And then also the front on one, which we used to really just make sure that she wasn't over rotating and over catching. And that ability for her to monitor her, and then obviously her own self-monitoring. Probably with Bindi was more about, when she was nailing her underwaters, what did it look like? And based on time, so time to 10 meters, we would time to 10 meters. So any fast work we did, we filmed the 0 to 10 meters and timed it, so that she was always not only swimming the total set, but she was actually, we were getting vision and time connected for her. So she started really knowing, if I do it this way, I'm faster. So she connected with the feeling. So those are the ones that jump out to me. And I mean, a lot of my athletes benefited significantly from that, but they're the three that I know I really, when we design the program, we design the purpose of video feedback for technical, but also for performance side as well.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And what does SwimPro bring to clubs, Ro? I know this new stuff. For example, we're going to encourage having a SwimPro wireless at your club. If you walk into a club, for example, and can see they've got SwimPro wireless, they must have SwimPro cameras. Or you take your own camera, you turn your cameras off, they automatically sync into your iPad. You fire your iPad up, and you're away. So you're either using their cameras, yep, or your cameras, or a combination of both. So literally, you grab your iPad out, turn your cameras on. If they've already got SwimPro Wi-Fi at their venue, they're a performance club. Is that the way you see it? Absolutely.
I think that it's a significantly smart investment for clubs. Because the thing about it is, and this is probably, I'll try to summarize this pretty quick, but if we know that clubs are the nursery for our talent, right? So our future athletes, they all come from clubs, right? They come from swim schools and clubs. And so when athletes get to a level that they're, well, firstly, we talked about the technical development is critical. So just having that resource there to help coaches be better in influencing the technical development. But the exposure for the athletes to that type of support and the resources is critically important, because when they do start performing at a higher level, they're going to encounter it all the time. It's going to become something that's part of a high performance program's environment. And particularly when they go and do really, really focused filming and technical breakdowns, and they're going to go, spend time at the QAS pool, the VIS pool, or wherever the camera setups are, and get proper filming done and proper analysis. They're familiar with that medium as something to help them. It's not like all of a sudden they're going from nothing to all this exposure to all these things. I think so that technical development and that familiarity is really important. And I think from a club's point of difference too, if I'm bringing my kids through and knowing that they're getting constant technical feedback, whether it be through coaching or through SwimPro eyes, and they're able to look at it, I think it's a significant point of difference for clubs. And if I'm looking at bringing my kids somewhere, I'm going to go where I think they're really on staying in front of the curve as far as their ability. I'm paying money for them to teach my child how to swim or to train them. Then I know they're really serious about their technical development.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, because the local university, Newcastle University, they've had our older gear, and they just become an NSwiss podium, or a Swimming Australia podium club.
That's right.
And they rung me just for that. And we know the head coach over there, we've been working with Mr. Paul Sharman for years. He's fantastic. And now he knows he needs the new gear. They've got a massive screen over there. They're going to put it on. They're going to have roaming iPads. It's going to be fantastic. So yeah, podium clubs, you need the top gear. And I think that's a good metric for whether you are serious or not, whether you have, performance technology by your side.
Well, I think the biggest thing for me in our sport is you attract people to your program, you develop them, and then through development, you retain them, right? So business model, what's attracting them? Well, your point of difference. So your ability to have something that enhances their development. And then if they're developed, they're going to stay there. So they're going to stay in your program. So from a business model, from a performance model, like you want to keep athletes and develop them and improve them. So, this is to me a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next on row is why do you choose to use SwimPro over other video products? I guess in the future and in the past.
I think, well, obviously the technology and the speed and efficiency of it, the quality of the footage, the camera quality, and the ease of using it is one thing. But I also think that you're working collaboratively with the sport. So SwimPro works collaboratively with the sport to continue to evolve and stay at pace with the ever changing, and more importantly, you speak to and you work with coaches, and coaches, you respond to what coaches want. You're not pushing, we're not putting a round peg in a square hole. It's purpose built for swimming. It's purpose built for coaches. As I said, it's an extra set of eyes for us. It's an extra extension of us. So it's purposely made. There's no other product out there that does that. You could take something else and kind of try to use it like that, but you'll run into gaps and problems along the way. It's not set up for that. So it's clearly head and shoulders above anything else I've ever seen.
Thank you. And look, and we do work very closely with coaches, and coaches have they really have been screaming to use the term, efficiency. Effectiveness, again, technologically, we're very capable in that area, but efficiency is always the challenge. You want leading technology. You want technology that gives you the advantage, that gives you the edge, that gives you super high quality detail, and most importantly, takes no time to set up. That's a big effort, and that's where the new gear, this 3.0 gear straight to iPad, is absolutely nailed it. And as I mentioned, I really look forward to showing the guys this week at the QAS. And I'll just show you this just quickly, Ro. I just queued it for us. This is just how quick it can be. Bear with it. So I click fast. This is our fast function that's in the app, right? So you've got your multi-cameras set up, you've got your single cameras set up, you've got your videos set up and workflow. So the workflow side of things, we've got a function called fast. So I click fast, I go to cameras, fast recordings, fast multi. Look how quick it is. And I can also go to recents. It's got all my history, where I've been. So if I want to quickly go to that dual cam view, bang, I'm in the dual cam view. I'm capturing what's happening in the dual cam. That's how quick it is. If I want to come back to that recording that I just made, bang, clicking that, there's the recording, bang, straight back into my dual cam, ready to move on. If I want to go to my local camera where I was, bang, I come to my local camera, capture that, move out of local camera, back into dual cam. So again, we've hammered. So super quick. I don't think, as an engineer, I don't think you can do this any quicker, Ro. with the technology.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't think you can unless it's happening before you ask it to.
Yeah, well, time machine stuff. But yeah, it's the most efficient. I showed the NSwiss the other day, and we actually had a little cackle. It is the most efficient way that you can get wireless streaming video back to an iPad, and then you saw how quickly the app, you can switch in between all your different views, recordings, what you did yesterday, side by side dual views and so on. Would you recommend SwimPro?
Absolutely. For all the things that I said, working with us, with the coaches, with the industry, listening, adapting to things, like actually going in front of us and showing us things that will help us be better. So that collaboration, and then, obviously the product itself, the technology, and the benefits of that technology, all those things put together is why I would recommend it before, well above anything else. Like it's a no-brainer for me. Like I said, we're partners. I see it as a partnership. I've always felt that it's a partnership with the industry, with the sport, with the coaches, with the athletes. You've shown that over the years with how you've worked with us, and I know that the future, as we continue to have success in the pool and out of the pool as an organization and an industry in this country, we have highly motivated people who want to continue to drive that. And you're with us on that journey. Like, we'll be sitting here in 10 years talking about who knows what it was going to look like then, but it'll be an evolution from what it is today. So I can't highly recommend it enough.
Thank you very much.